Welcome back to Truckin' with Josh, starring the driver, the safety and compliance officer, and the mechanic, all working together to keep this going down the road for you guys. What's going on, guys? Can you guess where I am? If I told you it was the middle of the desert, would you believe me? Yeah, it's Wilcox, Arizona. Picking up at a little potato farm out there. Real easy get in and get out. It's going down to Florida. This is the place I'm going to down there in Florida. Sill Farms, I think it's called. That's the building there, right off the road. Real easy. It looks like it'll be easy to get in and out. All the reviews were good too. That's always a good sign when people have good reviews on it. So all in all, it should be a good trip.
It says 10 miles an hour, but I guess if you work on the farm, fuck it, you can go as fast as you want. That little arch thing right there that we just drove under, that threw me off when I was pulling up, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, usually when I see that, it's because they don't want the trucks to go that way. So I was like, is this not the entrance? But there's nothing else around, so I'm out here in Wilcox, Arizona, close to Apple Annie's Orchard. I'm not sure if the place I was just at was associated or not, but everybody there sounded Dutch. Alright guys, here we go. 43,000 pounds of taters.
So I hit this big old traffic jam right before or right over the border of Louisiana coming out of Texas on the 10. No idea what it was at the time. That's when I found out that there was something going on when that truck got over. I was like, oh, wonderful. And of course it's in this lane. Then I finally get up to the incident, trying to figure out what it is, and there's just a car in the middle of the road. I don't even know if there was anybody in it, I couldn't tell. No other vehicles present, no tow truck. You'd think that was rare. This was the next day. This vehicle wasn't damaged, so I don't know if they just broke down or what. But it was just parked in the middle of the freeway as well, right in the fast lane too. That was perfect. It looks like I'm going fast because it's pictures, but I did slow down for them. Everybody was slowing down for them. Same thing, no one in the vehicle. I don't know where they were. Yeah, definitely interesting. And then this is I don't know if you noticed on the place I was delivering, it said there was a mud park. And there's a giant mud park behind it. Very interesting. Apparently there was some kind of gravel pit back there too, because there was a ton of dump trucks going down the road that led to the mud pit, but it was also a farm. I don't know, it was busy. There was a lot going on. for a middle of nowhere place. But it was an easy delivery, so that was good. And so yeah, potatoes made it. No complaints, no bugs. That's always good, especially for Florida. And we're out of here, guys.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So today I got a really weird story. This is one of the stories that I told before, but I was driving down the road, my headset wasn't connected, the audio was terrible, and I was just like, I'll post it anyway. And it was terrible. And it's a good story. It's weird, it's kind of funny sometimes, so I wanted to retell it. And let me turn this AC down. Turn the AC down so I don't have shitty audio a second time. You know, you think I would have learned, right? But I used to have a local job where I delivered, it kind of counts as food service, but it was everything, you know. It was like paper goods, you know, it was like Cisco, you know, US Foods type thing, but I was dedicated to Circle K gas stations. Great gig while it lasted. Maybe I'll tell a story about that job at some point, or if you're interested in something like that, you know, maybe I can answer questions about it, but not the point of the video, right? So I delivered to gas stations all over Arizona, Circle K gas stations specifically, and there was this one location. It's been a while now. I know it was on the south side of Tucson. Maybe I'll put a picture of it here if I remember. It was a little neighborhood Circle K, you know, it was kind of in the middle of this little residential area. There was like a car wash next door, and I think like a junkyard next to it, and then it's just like all like mobile home parks and like a small neighborhood. It was kind of like in a out of the way place. I think it had 2 gas pumps. It was real small, and they didn't even have a cover. They were just out in the parking lot, like exposed to the elements. And I would go to this store twice a week on the route that I was doing at the time. And you know, anybody that's been in a gas station after dark knows that they're weird people show up to gas stations, right? I always had this joke where, like, the higher in the sky that the moon was, the weirder the people that would be out. And it was true. You know, the darker it got, the later it got, the weirder everybody that was out was. And it's like, at some point it gets so late to where you're like, you know, why are you here? Like, I'm being paid to be here. The guy that's working here is being paid to be here. Why are you in a gas station at this time of night, you know, if you're not buying anything, right? But there was always lurkers. And this particular store had a lurker. He was a younger dude, real skinny, like a wet noodle skinny. And he was odd. He would just hang out, but he didn't steal anything, and he didn't bother you, right? He didn't tell stories, he didn't talk to you, he didn't ask for money, he would just hang out. And so I assumed they didn't bother him because they knew he was just trying to find a place to hang out in the air conditioning without getting bothered. So he would hang out there, you know. They had a public bathroom, and it was air conditioned, you know. And if you're in Arizona, or if you've been to Arizona, you know that being outside in the heat sucks. You know, so he was just trying to stay cool, you know. I don't even know if he was actually homeless. He might have just been weird, I don't know. But, you know, so everybody knew him. He was just a fixture of that store. He would show up there late at night. And So I'm doing my delivery there as usual. He's there standing by the door, right by the front door. And the way the store is set up is you come in the door, the counter is to your left, and there's a little bit of wall that pokes out, and then he's standing against that wall, right up against the counter, but to your left as you enter the door coming into the store. And he would do that. He would just lean against the wall and just hang out and stay quiet, you know. So never thought anything of him. And so I'm doing my delivery as usual, and a car pulls into the parking lot, and this guy gets out, and he's huge, like bodybuilder big, like he's a giant man, got tattoo sleeve up one arm, and he's wearing a blue shirt with a shield on it that says Tucson Fire Department. And I'm like, he looks like a firefighter, right? Clearly off duty because he's in like shorts and this, t-shirt. It's not like he showed up in a fire truck, right? So he gets out, he comes inside, he grabs a 6-pack of beer, sets it on the counter, and he's getting checked out by the, rung up. I shouldn't say checked out, but he's getting rung up by the cashier. And now this skinny dude that's here all the time and has never said a word since I've been coming to the store delivering, he looks at the guy in his blue shirt that says Tucson Fire Department and says, "Hey, are you a firefighter?" That's the first time he spoke, right? And the guy looks at him and goes, "Yeah," and he goes, "Oh, okay." And then he's quiet for a minute, and then he just goes, "F you!" Like just angry, super angry. And everybody were like, "Huh? F you to the firefighter?" Right? And even the firefighter's like, "Why?" Like, why are you saying F you to me? And the guy goes, "Well, if you're a firefighter, that means you got a badge. And if you got a badge, that makes you like a cop. And I hate cops, so F you." And the firefighter's like, "But I'm not a cop." Like, I save people. Like, I don't arrest anybody. He's like, "That doesn't even make sense." And the guy's just like, "No, F you. You're just as bad as the cops," and he's, set on it. Well, the firefighter, as it becomes very clear, this isn't his first 6-pack tonight, right? So he's getting another 6-pack. So he's already kind of drunk. So he turns away from the counter, and now he's facing this small little man that looks like a wet noodle, and is basically like, "What are you gonna do about it?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, I don't know if that's the guy that I would want to piss off." And so he's basically like, "You don't want to fight me, you'll lose your job." Like, he's trying to get out of a fight that he started. And sorry, I'm reading messages popping up on the screen as I'm talking. But so he's like trying to back out of this fight now that he started, right? Talking trash to this firefighter. And the firefighter's like, "Nah." He's pissed. So he steps outside in the parking lot, and he's like, "Come out here and show me what you think of me." And the guy's like, he's not going outside. He's like, "Nah, man, get the hell out of here. Like, you're gonna lose your job over me." Like, and I'm like, why are you acting like you're the reasonable one? You started the shit with him. I don't know. It was so confusing. So he's out in the doorway like, "Come on, let's fight." He's pissed. And again, this dude is massive. And the clerk is just like, "I'm not getting involved," And the skinny guy is like, "I'm not going out there with a fucking shaved gorilla," right? And so this lady gets out of the car that he showed up in. I'm assuming it's his girlfriend or wife. And she's like, "Let's just go, stop, what are you doing?" And she's kind of tugging on his arm, right? And he's just like, "No, fuck this guy, I'm gonna fuck him up." And he's determined. He wants to fight. And he's telling the guy to come outside. And he won't come outside. And he's like drifting farther and farther back into the store. And then he's hiding behind the chip rack, like Wilson from Home Improvement, like it's the fence. He's like, "Dude, go, leave. I'm not gonna fight you. You're crazy." Like, hiding behind the shipwreck. Well, it would be reasonable if he said that. He was actually more like this. He's just like, I'll jack you up, dude. You're gonna get hurt. And I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, the guy, you don't want to fight that monster out there. And he's just talking trash, hiding in the store. And the firefighters in the parking lot talking trash back, like, come out and fight. And I'm like, maybe I can defuse this situation, right? So I walk up to the firefighter, and I'm like, dude, forget that guy. He's a homeless guy that hangs out at Circle K's all night long, and you're gonna waste your time on that dude? I was like, you're a firefighter. You're better than that guy. He's nothing to you. Don't let him bother you. He can talk all the shit he wants. He's never gonna be you. You know, and he's kind of nodding his head, and I'm like, oh, good. You know, I'm like, just get your beer, go home, enjoy your time off. You know, like, you don't need to be here doing this. Like, fuck that guy, right? And he kind of nods for a second, but the dude's talking shit the whole time. Like, he never stops talking shit. And so the firefighter, he like tenses up, he grabs my shoulders, lifts me up, and sets me aside, like, out of his way. And I'm just like, well, I'm not getting involved in that again. Like, that was insanity. Like, he like, just picked me up, just like it was nothing. And his girlfriend's like, can you help me get him in the car? I'm like, would you look at this dude? He's not going anywhere he doesn't want to. He was determined. And I was just like, nope, I'm not. He's not mad at me, and I don't want him to be. So that, I tried my best. You know, I'm not gonna try to drag that dude. Well, they keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And finally, after what felt like forever, but was probably like minutes, he walks to the car with his beer, and he's about to leave, right? He's getting in the passenger side of the car. The lady puts it in reverse. They're backing out of the space. And the skinny guy comes out of the store with a knife. It's a little pistol with a blade that comes out. The blade's probably like an inch long, like a little keychain blade that looks like a gun. Comes out with that in his hand and goes, yeah, you better run, bitch. And I'm like, no. And the car, he jumps out of the car while it's still backing up and runs back towards the door, right? That guy runs back in the store, and I'm like, why would you do that? Like, he was leaving. And so now they're yelling at each other again, and at this point the clerk had already called the cops. He's just like, I saw a weapon, this is ridiculous. So while they're yelling at each other, a sheriff's deputy shows up, and he's like 16 years old, maybe. Like, the youngest looking dude I've ever seen. I'm sure he was an adult, but he looked young, like couldn't even shave yet. And he's almost as small as the guy that's talking trash in the store, and he's there just like, okay guys, let's all calm down, let's break it up, you know. And I'm like, you're our help? you're the backup? Like, well, after that, he radioed somebody at some point, because then two Tucson police officers showed up, and those guys didn't waste any time. They went in there and just busted them two apart. And the one guy, I don't know if he was like a higher rank or what, but he kind of took charge, and he was like, you, to the firefighter, he's like, go home, take your shit and go home, or you're going to jail, you know. So he's just like, and he goes and gets in his car to leave, and he points at the homeless guy, and he's all, I don't care where you go, but it better not be here. And so he walks off down the street, you know, kind of talking under his breath, right? They stay there until it's clear that these guys are going in two separate directions before they leave, and then they all jump back in their cars and leave. And that was the end of it. But it was such a wild encounter that started off so innocently with a guy just asking a question like, hey, are you a firefighter? And again, this guy never said a word in like months that I'd been on this route. Not one word, and I saw him there all the time. And the one time he chose to speak up, he wanted to pick a fight with a shaved gorilla whose job was to help people. And then even that guy's response was just so far beyond what I thought would be reasonable, and I'm sure it was because he was drinking, but yeah, that was a wild encounter, guys. Definitely crazy. Had a lot of things to say about that for a while. definitely joked around out with the other drivers. But yeah, that's what I got for this one, guys. Just an interesting thing that I had happen to me while I was working. You never know what's going to happen doing this. Trucking's very unique in that aspect where you don't know what kind of crazy stuff you're going to come across. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this, I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.